a lot of people say, we have to pay the city of Battle Creek a lot of tax money. Please know we are the collector of taxes, but we collect taxes for jurisdictions that aren't just the city. So the county and the schools and et cetera are all part of the tax bill that residents of Battle Creek receive. And so we'll do our best to kind of talk through the taxes that we collect and where they're used. So when we talk about paying property taxes and what that funds, the general fund for the city is our major operating fund. That's why we mostly focus on that fund, and that fund is supported by tax revenue. So the property taxes that you paid based on the value of your home goes to running city services. Battle Creek is very fortunate to be a full service city. We have police and fire and streets and transit, water, wastewater, all of those important things that you need to access every day as a resident in the city. That's what the general fund supports. And ultimately, your tax dollars go towards that. It also goes towards every city staff person we have. We have some other funds, but for the most part, the majority of our city employees are paid through your taxes, and we're very appreciative of that. That's really why people pay property taxes. They pay city tax, and then they support some other things out county as well. When we talk about the income tax, I appreciated what Aaron said, is that yes, we are one of 23 communities in the state of Michigan that has a local income tax. And it differs whether you live in the city or whether you just come in and work. And those dollars, as Aaron said, is another leg of our three-legged stool of revenue that supports our general fund, or that big operating fund. Most often people focus on police and fire services in that fund. And yep, absolutely. Those are the two departments that use the majority of the general fund, but there are so many other services that provides. When you walk into City Hall, you can see your tax dollars at work through people, services, and programs. And we're always looking to make that better, think differently outside of the box, and provide the quality customer service. And we can do that through your tax dollars, as well as the other monies that we receive from the state of Michigan and other areas. I mean, when you look at tax structures, it is difficult to say we're going to ask our neighbors to pay more than maybe our neighboring community because of a local income tax. However, it allows us then to make sure that we can balance our budget, because when our expenditures exceed our revenues, which we never like that to happen, but sometimes it does, we lean heavily on those taxes to be able to balance it. And if we didn't have that, that would be very difficult for us. I think Aaron indicated that our income tax is about 33%, 34% of our entire general fund. That is pretty much police, fire, and probably transit. And so we would never want to see those go away.
There are 4 different components of the millage that the city levies. There's our general operating, which, as Rebecca mentioned, that goes a lot towards covering police and fire operating expenses, the maintenance of our trail and park system, general government administration for things such as elections and human resources and finance administration. So that's kind of our catch-all millage rate. We also have a capital projects millage rate, which goes to defray the cost of capital projects that the city undertakes across the city related to infrastructure replacement. We also have a streets millage, which is 1.5 mils. This is to help the city maintain its network of streets and goes towards road replacements and reconstructions across the city. Then the fourth and biggest changing component is the police and fire pension millage. Battle Creek neighbors voted quite a while ago to support the cost of the police and fire retirement system. And so the millage rate that's levied on an annual basis goes to cover the city's annual required contribution to that pension system to support the retirements of our police officers and firefighters. Overall, the millage rate is 15.758 mils, which is a little bit of an increase over last year, and that's primarily due to a change in our contribution to the police and fire pension system. That millage rate is, comparable. It's pretty standard when you look at comparably sized cities, such as Midland or East Lansing or Saginaw, or in terms of population. Our Battle Creek neighbors will receive a property tax bill twice a year. The city millage is levied in the summertime, so there's tax bills that are sent out to all of our property owners July 1st of every year. And the city's millage, like I said, is levied in the summer, but there's also a winter component, which is a little bit less, which goes to fund, some of our other jurisdictions here, Kellogg Community College, some school millage, some county specialty millages such as parks and senior citizens.